This is my cat Spot. He is a good cat, and a pretty cat. Welcome to Best of Trek, Worst of Trek. I'm your host, Dustin Wing. Messing around in the holodeck at 603. Irish reunification. Or spirit folk. Tom Paris can fly a 70,000-ton starship at a high level, but crashes a simple early automobile in a program he designed. The characters in the program start becoming self-aware and take Paris, Kim, and later the Doctor hostage before Janeway is able to talk them down and reprogram them. Outside of the laughable plot, there's some really decent humor in this one. My favorite is the Doctor as the village priest and playing the role at a very high level. Harry Kim wastes replicator rations to create real flowers for a holographic flower girl that Tom turns into a cow just to mess with him. At one point they call for the program to freeze, and Majel can only comply 62%. Why would the program comply only partially? Number 602 is a jumper, and I know what I have to do. Or Eye of the Beholder. After a crew member jumps into the plasma of the ship's nacelles, Troy starts an investigation into why. She finds out he was involved in a love triangle in his mind because he sensed the plight of a love triangle gone wrong during the building of the Enterprise, and a murder-suicide happened in the same nacelle. For the first time we see Deanna has some feelings for Worf when she catches him with another woman and kills him. Soon after, she's standing back in front of the nacelle plasma during her investigation, and the bulk of the runtime took place in her head, and Worf is fine. I really hate media where it never really happened in the end. Feels like such a cop-out. Bringing people together at 601. Clan Wars. Or The Vengeance Factor. The Enterprise is trying to help a race of aliens reunite a splinter faction called the Gatherers, who dress like people from the Road Warrior. Meanwhile, the leader of the primary race is reminiscent of Kai Wynn. By the end, it turns out the assistant to the planet leader is the last member of a clan from the old days of feuding, still trying to kill the Gatherer members of a rival clan. This episode is like Romeo and Juliet if it didn't have a love story, even though Riker tries to insert himself into that role. LARPing at number 600. Not Shakespeare. Or Heroes and Demons. Harry Kim disappears while running the story of Beowulf in the holodeck. Tuvok and Chakotay end up missing also when they go in to find him, because they haven't lost enough crew. The Doctor is sent in to play out the program and find all three converted into photonic energy by the photonic lattice of a nearby star they're studying. Eventually the Doctor gets them back, and that's about all there is to this one. Taking some time off at 599. Kess is a mirror. Or Persistence of Vision. An overworked Janeway is ordered by the Doctor to take some R&R in the holodeck. We still don't get to find out what's happening on the 4th floor of this aristocrat's house, but the characters from Janeway's holonovel start coming to life off the holodeck. Kess has a strange feeling and starts seeing the apparitions the captain sees. In the end, it turns out the crew is being fed illusions from a race or maybe just a single entity similar to the Telosians from The Cage, and they think they've trapped the illusionist on board, but even he's not really there, leaving us with more questions than answers. Such as, what would Janeway have been like as a character if Carolyn Seymour had taken the role after Genevieve Bujold quit? Being seduced at 598. Hoshi and the Beast. Or Exile. In the less than 1 minute intro, a presence is stalking Hoshi in the bathroom. A telepathic alien reached out and makes contact with Hoshi. He offers to find out information on the Xindi, but only if Hoshi stays with him while he works. Enterprise leaves her while they go and explore a second giant sphere T'Pol is detected in the Expanse. The alien named Tarquin knows everything about Hoshi from probing her mind, and does everything he can to keep her with him. After overcoming his charms and illusions, she leaves him when the Enterprise comes back, and he gives her information on where to find a Xindi colony. Enterprise's trip to the second sphere allows T'Pol to extrapolate that there are 50 or more spheres in the expanse. This was the first episode of Star Trek to ever be broadcast in high definition. If you do not like and subscribe, I will not be able to give Spot Feline Supplement number 25, and it's the only one he likes. Being fundamentally changed at 597. Zen Nagus Zek, or Profit Motive. Quark has a self-sealing stem bolt deal interrupted by a visit from the Grand Nagus. He comes bearing new rules of acquisition that are completely antithetical to normal Ferengi behavior. Quark figures out he's been changed by the wormhole aliens. He takes him for another meeting with the Prophets and spouts libertarian ethics to them till they agree to change Zek back to the greedy way he was. Meanwhile, Julian has been put up for the most prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award in medicine in the Federation, and is sure he won't win, because you've got to be over 100 to be a serious contender, but it fills the rest of the runtime with a small bit of humor. This is the only episode where Tiny Ron gets a line as one of the Prophets, giving Data another sibling at 596. Not less perfect. Or Data lore. The Enterprise goes back to the planet where Data was originally found, in a place where a colony used to be, but is now devoid of life. They find a secret cave with a dissembled copy of Data. They put it back together and find out it's Data's brother named Lore. Eventually, Lore shuts Data down and tries to take over his life and contact the crystalline entity, which it turns out he summoned to the colony decades before. Only Wesley realizes that it's Lore and not Data. My biggest problem, other than being a Season 1 TNG bore, is when they find Lore, they find drawings made by the children in the lab of the crystalline entity. When did kids have time to draw this thing that sucks up every living creature, and who was around to hang them? 595 has triple N's. Not Nog's name. Or initiations. Chakotay kicks off his bad luck with shuttles when attacked by a young Kazon, who's trying to kill him to earn his name. He foils his attack and saves the boy in the end. The Kazon mothership comes and picks them up anyway, taking Chakotay prisoner and shunning the boy for failing to kill his target. Chakotay escapes and takes the boy with him since he has failed to earn his name anyway, and they end up losing the shuttle and beaming to a Kazon battle training ground. Voyager finds them there, and Chakotay cooks up a plot to let Not Nog kill him in front of his commander, so maybe he can still earn his name. When he does his own thing anyway and kills his commander, he earns his name, Jal Cardane, from his new leader. Oh, it's fun to go to Vasquez Rocks, but this feels like fan service bringing Aaron Eisenberg in, and the episode just doesn't leave me caring about anything that happened. Being abducted at 594. Shakespeare in Love. Or Menage a Troy. The Enterprise is visiting Beta Z for a conference. No visit to Beta Z would be complete without the daughter of the Fifth House making an appearance. A Ferengi at the conference becomes infatuated with Waxana and abducts her, Deanna, and Riker during a picnic on the planet. Deanna and Will manage to escape, but Picard must plead for the love of Waxana using Shakespeare and threat of war. Apparently, in the Ferengi version of 3D chess, there's only 10 pieces on the entire board. Closing out our block today at number 593, Cold War Proxy, or A Private Little War. Kirk returns to a planet he surveyed years before to find out that one group on the planet have rifles now that they didn't have before. They find that the Klingons have supplied the rifles. Kirk thinks very hard about whether the Prime Directive would allow arming the other side that Kirk has met on his last visit to the planet. He ends up deciding against it and just leaving in the end. There's a weird witch with an orange fuzzy top that ends up dying in the end for doing stupid stuff for little reason. We find out in this one about the Mugado or Gamato or Magutu, which became a joke because DeForest Kelley had trouble saying the name every time it came up in the script. Honestly, the ongoing Federation Klingon Cold War is the only thing hanging this one as high as it is on the list.
Ah, computer!
That program is available.
Thanks, Majel. Majel. Thanks, Majel. Majel.
Clan affiliation is not within provided records.
Thanks, Majel.
You want me to say something aloud?
Majel.
Can you imagine that dreadful little creature talking to me like that?
Thanks, Majel.
I am much more concerned with other people getting on with their lives.
Thanks, Majel. Majel.
I'm afraid you can't do that. You're Starfleet officers.
Thanks, Majel.
Even their transporters can't be trusted.
Majel.
You have great strength in your hands.
Thanks, Majel.
My, what big ears you have.
Majel. Majel.
A very profitable future.
Thanks, Majel.
How repugnant.
Majel. Majel. Thanks, Majel.
I am a grown woman. I can make my own decisions.
Thanks, Majel. Majel.
When will you get it through your thick head that it's over between us, Jean-Luc?
Thanks, Majel.
Shutdown procedure initiated.
Majel. Majel.
Warning. Plasma venting system will engage in 90 seconds.
Thanks, Majel.
Lieutenant Worf is in Ensign Calloway's quarters.
Majel. Majel.
Warning. Plasma venting system will engage in 70 seconds.
Thanks, Majel.
Corin,
Majel. Majel.
no replacements for the damaged organs, sir.
Thanks, Majel.
Yes, Doctor.
Thanks, Majel. Majel.
Get you? No.
Thanks, Majel.
Unable to comply. Ensign Kim is not aboard the ship.
Majel. Majel.
The program in progress is a hollow novel based on the epic Earth poem Beowulf.
Thanks, Majel.
Data compilation in progress.
Majel. Majel.
Minor damage to aft shields.
Thanks, Majel.
Affirmative. One life sign.
Majel. Majel.
Warning. Alien vessel approaching at 022 Mark 8.
Thanks, Majel.
Aft shields at 63%.
Thanks, Majel. Majel.
Transport is not recommended. The moon is out of safety range.
Thanks, Majel.
Negative.
Majel. Majel.
Holodeck controls and safety protocols are offline.
Thanks, Majel.
Have you heard of the story of the girl